Are we? You think we're on?
We're on now. Yeah.
You would think collectively we would get better at that.
We can always add more seconds to the count.
No, that's ridiculous. I like this much better. You're making too much sense now. Why would we do that? Hopefully everybody had a good New Year, though. What is today, the 3rd?
Yep.
Yeah. Feels the same as 2021.
Mm-hmm.
Exactly the same. Jags still suck.
Yeah. You know, I learned that people don't understand context or like sarcasm as much as you would like.
Jag fans?
Like, yeah.
If anybody should, they should.
They take some things too serious from people they consider media. So I'm like, man, I haven't said this all year. The Jags suck.
Oh, yeah. I saw that.
And somebody was like, well, they've been sucked. I mean, you couldn't see this before. I'm like, bro, we just started the year. I was like, we haven't even been in this year.
Oh, I didn't even pick that up.
Yeah, I was like, we haven't even been in this year for 48 hours.
Well, I think it's official though. The Jags are worse in 2022 than they were in 2021,
without a doubt.
Just when you thought it couldn't happen, just when you thought it couldn't get any worse, the Jags go. Put that down. We're not going to spend time talking about the Jags. I'm sorry, but I'm over them. They don't deserve to be talked about at this point.
No, they don't. And this is the freedom of not having to talk about them. It's like you could just say, hey, whatever.
I just thought of something though.
What?
Should this be approached as like that girl that you just ignored to see if she really liked you? Should we just all start ignoring the Jags like all together and see, like, do they really want to be here? Not they as in the players. I made that comment yesterday. Like, right. I know a lot of the players, they work hard. They're talented guys. All these guys in the NFL are talented guys. There is not a collection of players that's this bad. There's this dysfunction that just reeks. That whole place reeks of dysfunction all the time.
You can't walk out three guys from Piccadilly's to play off of that were snacking real good at the all you can eat buffet.
Yeah.
And then say, hey, just because you're big, go out here and block. There's some things that need to happen. Yeah, but the Saints have a better overall. They're not in this. The dysfunction that they're in is that they just don't have a quarterback. They've had the same head coach. A lot of the people who have been in the building. Right now, you cut the head off of a snake that was already wilding out anyway.
Bro, does it seem like Urban Meyer was the head coach of this team like 3 years ago? Has it really only been 3 weeks?
Yeah. But I think we had already, once he was trying to field snaps
right
in the bar in Cincinnati, we kind of knew it was over. Yeah. And so we kind of like counted our days.
All right, that's enough Jags talk. It is sportsden.
Just one thing.
Okay, go ahead.
Jag fans, I'm with you. You probably don't need to keep trolling Shad anymore. But it's not for the reason why you think. I'm not saying it. Feel free to turn all your attentions to Tony Baselli, Pete Briscoe, all these guys who are telling you, they're basically ridiculing the fans for being upset. Like, you can't do this again, big boy. I love you to death. But I remember when I first moved here, you tried to guilt all of us into buying tickets and supporting the team like when they sucked. And like the fans showed up. Like the fans have showed up every time.
I get it though. I mean, their check is written.
Right. I
mean, I get it.
Whatever.
We'd probably be the same way. I mean, if we're being real.
Yeah, I guess.
You know?
Nah, I don't know. Because Big Freddie T is just, or is that just because Freddie T is just so chill and so real that it doesn't even matter to him?
Yeah, probably. And he's not always on in Jacksonville. I don't know. I don't know. I mean, I say, I don't know. Maybe
I just think sometimes it's just like, just.
What else is there to say? The Jags suck. They're dysfunctional. There's no way they can keep Balky. And if the rumors of Balky trying to make a move for
Bill
O'Brien are true, then why do we even care? Like, that can't be true. There's nobody that dumb. Bill O'Brien should be banned from coaching in the NFL.
Wow.
You shouldn't.
The way he ended it, it was
what he did to Houston. He should literally be banned. I mean, if he gets another job, then I'm just going to start throwing my hat in the ring for all these jobs. Because
now, to his defense,
there is,
and I don't want to.
Go ahead.
He did make the playoffs. It did win the division,
and then he destroyed the team.
Right? No, what I'm saying, he did that once he started smelling himself. But he did this, and I think he got used to like that Saban mentality. Remember when we joked Saban brought in all the coaches that couldn't work anywhere else
Mhm.
just to prove that he was that good because he got bored. I think he was like, okay, well, I can win the AFC South with my eyes closed. Let me just start saying maybe I want to get rid of the best receiver in the game by
Right.
saying that you can't be bringing all your baby
I'm gonna
mamas
give
to
away my
practice.
draft picks.
Yeah, I think maybe he got bored. I think now if you come back and say, hey, Bill, you ready to try this like an adult? I don't want him.
You are being unreasonable, right?
I don't want him. I'm just saying
you're being unreasonable. There's only one team in the league that would even have that suggestion, and we live in that city.
Right. I'm just saying that's how bad it is right now. I don't want him. I want guys who have done more with less in a more conventional fashion, like a Jim Caldwell. Even though I don't trust people with the last name Caldwell, but it's still Jim in Detroit made things happen.
Well,
I like that.
I mean, I think for me it was the
or even
shock.
Marvin Jones.
Yeah, I'll take Marvin Jones.
Not Marvin Jones, Marvin Lewis
or Jones. I mean, can't get worse.
Right.
I think that was the thing. Like, that was the shock, is it's like it can't get worse. And then you hear Bill O'Brien's name floated. And you're like, well, yeah,
it just got worse.
It can. It actually can. And that's the one way it could get worse. And now we're floating his name around. It's not going to happen.
That's the coolest
At the end
thing.
of this Balky's going to be fired at the end of this thing.
Yeah,
I think so. I think
today.
I think the Jag fans have done a respectable thing. That's the thing. I am completely on the other side of Baselli here. I think the Jag fans have shown passion and ownership. Letting the tagline own it.
Mm-hmm.
They've shown passion and ownership in this franchise by putting their foot down and going, enough's enough. Nobody's making fun of Shad Khan. That's not what's happening here. And if you think it is, then you're not paying attention. What's happening is fans are just fed up. And it's time to make a move. And as fans, you realize you have a voice, and they're making that voice heard. And now it's up to Shad Khan on whether he's going to act on it or not. And I think the fans have done enough that they have kind of forced his hand on this. That's what I believe is going to happen. Well played.
Well, good.
Really well played. It's the SportsDen brought to you by ABC Fine Wine and Spirits. Hopefully you partook in ABC and something from ABC. I know I did. I got to stop. It's like I got this really good whiskey in there. And every time I walk, I need to hide it, because every time I walk by, it's just like making googly eyes at me. I can't walk away from it, but I'm gonna overcome that. Maybe another night. I don't know.
Yeah,
we'll see.
I'm not a quitter.
But get to ABC Fine Wine and Spirits. You can find one everywhere in Jacksonville. Stop going to your grocery store. Stop going to other places to buy beer or liquor, and get to ABC. I want to lead off real quick because there's a bunch of good things. We got to get to Georgia. We got to get to the college football playoff. We got to get to all that kind of stuff. We got to get to Antonio Brown, all that kind of stuff. But I want to lead off with Caleb Williams for a second.
Okay.
I kind of hinted at this a couple weeks ago.
Yeah, I was told about this as well.
Yeah. And Caleb Williams, if you don't know, the Oklahoma quarterback, has entered his name to the transfer portal, and he wrote this long tweet today of, look, Oklahoma is still very much a possibility.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to take a couple of days and just kind of weigh my options. Translation, and everybody's figured this out, is in today's name, image, and likeness.
Who's giving me the bet?
Atmosphere, is I'm going to give y'all all 72 hours to bid on me.
Basically.
That's essentially what it is. And it's going to be very telling, because you're talking about perhaps the best quarterback in college football. A couple of things are going to happen. It's going to be very telling on who has the resources to bid. And it's also going to be very telling on who is not all that comfortable with their quarterback room. So this is where I think this gets interesting. Good for Caleb. Hey, Caleb, get your bag, man. That's fine. Well played. And I think it's probably the next step in the transfer portal. I think that's probably where we're going to see this transfer portal go to, even with the best of the best players. The issue I have, James, a little bit, and this isn't on Caleb, this isn't on anything, but let's say you are at Georgia.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Let's say you're the coaching staff at Georgia, and you have JT possibly coming back. You have Carson, who is a 4-star, Carson Beck. You have Brock Vandegrift, local kid, who is a 5-star. You have a kid coming in who is a 5-star, another Georgia kid. But Kirby has proven that he can't say no to transfers, right?
He's good at mismanaging quarterback rooms.
Do you go after this kid and take the chance of messing up your 4 and 5 star dominant quarterback room in the future in the middle of a national championship run, or do you let this ride?
There's been rumors that he's part of it, but not as much as I think. One, I'm gonna go with you. This is more of a hypothetical because I think this one is done. I hear what he's saying.
You think it's A&M?
I think he's going to USC. A&M is kind of in a situation like what you were talking about with Kirby, where he's got a pretty dominant thing, but I wouldn't put it past him. A&M's got a really good, but I think he's going for all the same reasons why you said.
Yeah. Well, I didn't say this
no, not
air.
I'm saying, but like the Lincoln Riley
was
leaving Oklahoma.
Yeah.
When you were talking about why would Lincoln leave Oklahoma to go to LA?
I didn't say that.
Remember we were talking about the different reasons, what's different about Oklahoma.
Okay.
You weren't saying like this is why. You were saying like, dude, LA is different than Norman, Oklahoma.
Right.
Yes, you could be great and you could have a big deal in Norman, Oklahoma. LA though is big, and LA has proven with the history of the USC that if you can get this rocking, you are the pro team.
Mm-hmm.
No matter what's happening with the other stuff, you will be the cool ticket. You will be the hot ticket. So I think that's something that's hard to turn down. And the money, it's very superfluous to use a big $5 word out there in LA.
See, I was thinking earlier, you start looking at places like Texas A&M, who we're told, and I'm assuming based on their facilities, have just an unlimited pot of money to draw from.
They have a good, yes.
This is a 2-year decision for Caleb, right? Yeah. This isn't a lifetime decision. You don't have to sign a contract. It's much different than the NFL. It's to get you to your NFL home. Like, I don't know, man. And if you're Oklahoma, what do you do? What do you do if you're University of Oklahoma?
This is where I think so. Schools are going to have a hard time doing this, right? And you probably never should have this happen at the same time. You need to have a director of, I don't know what you call it, but let's just call it director of sports marketing, right? Mm-hmm. At your school. And that is a job that you're well-paying job that you're paying for. And this person's sole purpose is to develop relationships with your key basketball player, baseball, all of them. And it should have been done even when people were going 3 years and out. Mm-hmm. And this person's job is for when you and they're not linked to the coach. They're linked to the university. Now, somebody that could probably do this, like somebody who's alumni, might probably be one of the best people in the beginning. But when you fire that coach, you still have this guy who's on staff that can immediately go and talk to Caleb Williams, because Caleb Williams doesn't have a relationship with the new staff yet. So if you had somebody that was there that could speak for Oklahoma and say, hey, man, listen, dude, I know. Here's what we got. We already have 75,000 or whatever. Just throwing a number already set to the side for you. Now, here's why we can't give you more, because the other quarterback kind of messed that up by not being any good. But if you come and we win these first couple games, here's already the national people that are on track to do these things.
He still leaves.
I believe it. But I'm just saying, like, that's the only way you
have a
chance.
In Oklahoma, in that scenario, Lincoln Riley leaves. You have to, at that point, identify with Caleb Williams, and that's it. He's got to be involved in your OC hire, not your head coach hire,
right?
But your OC hire, because his vision is number 1 overall pick. That's where he's trending to. And then you have to not even let him get to the portal. You have to go to him with a $2 million deal.
He should have been the first person that you recruited, Evan.
No doubt.
And to be honest with you, I just think a lot of these, I don't know what the pay is for why can't I think of his name right now? Who's at Oklahoma right now? I don't remember how much he's getting paid. Venables, yeah. I don't remember what the number was.
I don't know if I ever heard it.
But like if I'm Lincoln and I want Caleb and there's no other better quarterback that I can think of, I'm not suggesting that Kenny's doing this, or that because he's at Oregon, so it doesn't even matter anyway. But I know he didn't get that 4th and 14 gear for free that he had with Jordan Travis. Now he was styling he was his best.
Still is.
Like it looks good. Makes me want to go buy some stuff. But my point in that is Caleb Williams would have got $1 million worth of apparel bought for me, or $500,000 worth of apparel bought for me, which you can't tell me what I can wear and what I can't wear. It goes back to like these, man.
Well, that's where I was actually going though.
These coaches are holier than thou, man. Like, nah, dog. If my job is to win, I'm gonna win. Boosters need to get involved more. What Texas A&M has going on right now, basically where they're identifying who their top guys are, and they are actively making sure that I'm sure this is the legal way to do it. They're actively making sure that these people have name, image, and likeness deals upon signing, but they have an idea. Like it's not like you might get it if you don't sign, but if you do sign, we know this is what you'll get. They need to be.
Is the state of Florida, is college football in the state of Florida dead?
No.
How come none of them are ever mentioned in any of these things?
Because now what it is that we have a very Southern way of thinking about things, but it's not the right approach. It's like Alabama. I can joke about Alabama and me not wanting to go to Alabama because I'm terrified. State of Mississippi, all these other things as much as I want to. But the one thing that these people do understand is while they may still operate with an institutionalized feel, like you go there, you kind of feel like antebellum, feel like racism somewhere around the corner, but you're not sure. They know what to do. They know where their bread is buttered. Again, I joke about Nick Saban being mad, leading the march, people saying that they're not going to support him anymore. They know how to have their Facebook comments about how they feel about everything else, but also at the same time, know that they're going to make sure that their players don't feel those effects. They're going to come out like right now. You got Gibbs from Georgia Tech. Automatic. We all know the Charger joke. At this point, it's in our face. What I mean, Miami right now is doing things like that are similar to that. Miami's got a program right now where some of their current players, all they got to do is go talk about the not drinking and driving, and they're going to get paid each time that they go do something like that. They're coming like their booster, even though he's doing a lot of talking that makes no sense. Like anybody who knows how city, like we're going to just build a stadium and we're going to move a high school. Come on, dog. You know, if you have common sense, you know that doesn't just happen like that. But he's willing like to put some money behind. That's kind of what got them pushing toward that. Florida right now is just hiring everybody. They're hiring new janitors and things like that. So they haven't, but Florida has what's that mess called? That
Gator Collective.
Yeah, the Collective. No, like I don't want to knock it. It's not much right now, but
it's a step.
But like I saw one of the things, like they're like in the next 5 years, they'll have like 40 million or something. Like if I were a Gator fan, why would I pay 247 or Rivals $5 a month? I could pay $10 a month or whatever. I'm probably gonna get all this screenshot information anyway. But I know for a fact that these guys' job is to put money in the hands of players, and they got like a plan to get to where they have a trust of where they'll make $40 million off of the fan base. I think that's innovative. I think Florida State is trying to do it, but like I told you before, with my thoughts on what I know of the Travis Hunter situation is that we went in way arrogant and not understanding the market. And I know people are trying to readjust.
Well, I think that there's validity to taking this college basketball approach to things. Like if you're UF, if you're Florida State, I'm just using them because we're talking about them, and you decide what you want to do is you want to not go out and do all of this for a 2-year transfer. You want to continue to recruit. You want to build your program with 3- and 4-year, 5-year guys. There's validity to do that because you're talking about one kid. Right. You're talking about a quarterback, so it can make. But like the Travis Hunter thing, Jackson State ain't winning a national championship with him. No. Like you know what I mean? Like that's not, and he wasn't alone going to win a national championship for Florida State.
Right.
He could have helped put some butts in the stands and some things like that. I think the next 4 or 5 years is going to be interesting to see how the right way to play this is.
Well, here's what the other part. So everybody, one, the scariest part is just Saban. When Saban says, "Are y'all sure this is how you want to play the game?" Because when he says that, that means I got time.
I'm gonna rewrite the rules,
and we're already doing this for the most part. But now I'm going to really show you guys how it's to be done. But I hear people talking about, and I hear what you're saying, and others. And my thoughts is that it's just going to, unfortunately, the kid who would have snuck on a Division I school this time in the last 20 years, but shouldn't have been, probably going where you need to go if you should keep your options open. But even with that being said, when I'm looking at rivals, looking at top classes, Alabama, I think, is at 26. Texas A&M's over 20. Like, all the top schools are still signing
full classes.
Full classes. Like,
yep.
It's like that's why I wrote what I wrote right before New Year's. It wasn't to like pick on anybody. It's like, it's no need to cry or complain. They are recruiting high school kids. They're just not recruiting your kid. It is not going to happen in the same manner in which it used to happen. You just got to get better.
Well,
but I'm saying that is to say, like, think about what Saban did in 2007 when he took the job. In 3 years, he flipped the roster and he pushed people out. But he was able to do that because 25, 25, 25, that's 75 scholarships. In 3 years, you have the ability, really in 2, you have the ability to have 50% of the roster be your guys. If you're a coach and you're going into year 3 and it doesn't look the way you want it to look, that is your fault. That's not Texas A&M paying players money fault. That's not this, because there's still a ton of players that you can get. You may be squeezed out of the top guys right now, but you still got to win. The goal is still to get to the NFL. The money is good. And I've actually got a chance to see some of the contracts that have been spoken about. Still good money. Nowhere near like these people aren't dumb that are giving his money. Like,
now Caleb's will be whatever is reported.
Probably because he's going to go somewhere and start. But one of the ones where people are like, the kid got a bag twice. The kid he got paid, but he didn't get it back. He's only got 25% of his money because it was most of his deal was contingent upon him being a starter. That's why he's not at the school that he's at, because he couldn't start, which is not a problem. I'm just saying, like, a lot of these things, you still have to go in and play. You still have to do your thing. You can still go get 300. If it's top 200, top 150, top 300, you can still go get you 4 or 5 of those guys and still be able to make it happen.
Let's say there's 50 competitive teams.
Right. Which is what I've always said.
Right. If they sign a 25-person class, that's 1,500 kids.
That's still a lot of kids.
Out of that 1,500, there may be 10 of them that really get bags like that.
Mm-hmm.
At the most, 10. Leaves 1,490 for the rest of you guys to fight over if you don't want to pay like that. So, I mean, you can, and I think that's what I was saying. Like, you can build that program the same way you've built it. I want to have a conversation, and I'm going to after signing day. I want to sit down with a couple college coaches privately, and I want to ask them, okay, what was the real deal this year with the signing classes? What's with the discrepancy? Why are some people signing 25 and in some cases 27 and 28, and other people are signing 8 or 9? Like, really break this down for me. Right. And why did it happen like this? Because everybody's saying COVID and transfer portal, but I'm looking at the transfer portal, and 90% of the quarterbacks that hit the transfer portal aren't going anywhere.
Right. That's why I think people, when there's the people can use an excuse for whatever they want to use an excuse for. And I didn't just go back and look at, like, so I looked at this now and I'm like, okay, well, what do I have to compare this with? So, like, Clemson has like a class with like 15 kids in it, which is small. But then I go back and look, like, because they do so well, 3 years for like 3 years they oversign. They've got to take a class of smaller, like, even especially when you add in the COVID year, which is part of the reason why a lot of their guys are transferring out. It's not even unprecedented. Jimbo brought up the point, tongue in cheek, that NIL has been going on for years. Now it's just legal. Like, I don't want to hear it. Like, I just had a good a guy. Oh man, what's the pool company? I can't. I want to say Jack O'Brien, but that's not it. But anyways, it's a pool company out of South Carolina, and he's a FSU fan. He signed Joshua Burrell, wide receiver at Florida State, who's from where he's at. So he's going to do some commercials, do some things, sign him to a really good deal. Right around where I've done my research and talking, what is asking a regular FSU kid, a regular college kid, hey man, what do you need? Like, what will change your circumstances? You give a college kid an extra 1,000 or 2,000, actually probably anybody, extra 1,000 or 2,000, they're gonna be happy. And Jack is right in that area. So like that's the real deal. That's not scary.
You said extra 1,000, 2,000 a month.
A month, yeah. Like basically, basically radio advertising. Like if you're like, instead of me going and paying, hold on, not us, who's somebody like anyway, go and pay another radio station. I go give this kid his money.
Well,
and if you're a booster, what's stopping you?
It's the new age. It's the new age of advertising because these kids have more followers than most radio stations.
Right. Like, why would I like my thing is if you're that afraid, right? You got a business. Not most, not all, but like some of them you have a marketing budget. If you have control of your marketing budget, why are you crying and complaining about the new rules? Just go introduce yourself to the kid and let's get this thing done.
I think the interesting thing for me in this whole thing, and then we'll move on to real football being played. It's not like that at the NFL. It's like, yeah, you see Trevor in Subway commercials and you see, guys doing, national hits, but living here in Jacksonville, can you name how many commercials or spokesmen do you see that are Jaguar fans not named Trevor Lawrence?
Right. I think
that's I can't name any off the top of my head.
And it doesn't. You're right. But when we look at what commercial, like a few years ago was not Tommy Bohannon, he was able to do he did a radio show spot that he got paid for through an advertiser. You see
next to nothing.
Well, I mean, but the point is that give that to a college kid.
It's nowhere near what you just said.
He didn't get paid $1,000 a month.
Yeah, for like 3 months.
Yeah, but
you're talking about year round.
Season. But I'm saying, but that's the season, and that's when you're mainly there. Like Jalen Ramsey, when he was here, that was a choice between his agent and them talking about there ain't no money in Jacksonville, which isn't true. It's just not compared to New York and LA. No, but you know what? They also have extravagant taxes that you got to pay up there as well. But you can get some decent money here around certain things. And I think college has a more rabid fan base in the South, which is so like the problem with the Jags and what they probably thought they were going to capitalize on is that you got Tallahassee 2.5 hours away. You got Gainesville, what 2 hours away, if that hour and a half,
minutes, yeah.
90 minutes. So it's an hour and a half away. Two big programs. Georgia's not that far. You got all these big time football programs that we can get them to go on Saturdays, go level up on there, and then come here on Sundays, and that doesn't work.
It did the first 10 years because
they also won.
You know who else was winning?
Who?
The ones on Saturdays.
Well, yeah. So everybody's
in a good mood.
So like,
I don't want to go watch two people losing a weekend.
Right. Like, yeah. It's just like, God, I got to sit back and think about everybody being bad.
Right.
But bigger than that, you haven't ever out. You have during that time, Fred T, one of the better players from Florida, going over there. I'm trying to think like what, and this is a terrible way to draft, but from a local perspective, like what big time Florida State player has made an impact over here besides Telvin Smith, Jalen, yeah. But that's recent. Georgia, I mean, I don't really know. I mean,
Marcus Stroud,
yeah. I mean, and that's when they were actually pretty decent. Florida, you have Freddie T, but all the other guys you've gotten have been,
except for Taven, baller,
have been bust,
absolute baller.
So it's kind of hard to like say what Jaguar player is doing that when Anthony Richardson right now at Florida is the face of Florida, so he can make a lot more money doing that. I mean, that'd be my only take on it.
By the way, happy birthday.
Happy birthday.
Mm-hmm. It is the 7-year anniversary.
Us.
Today of the sportsden. 7 years ago today. January 3rd.
It was the 3rd?
It is.
And then we didn't come back until
it's on the Book of Faces.
Until after we.
Yeah. Jeez. Yeah, January 3rd, 2015 is when all this started. Yeah, crazy, man. I didn't think we'd make it 7 years.
Definitely.
Especially another thing that came up today was one of your Randy's Nuts reads.
Really?
Yeah, and I get it. I get it, 10-10. I get it now after seeing that. I understand why we're not on.
Man, I don't either. We never talked about that. Like, how many people? This is what I wanted. This is Rain Man. Do a poll question. Has anybody ever been fired, but not fired? Like never gone through paperwork, no HR email.
Well,
no,
you got to be
like,
hired to be fired, and we
that's
technically were
true.
never really
That's
hired.
true. That's true.
So
Fair enough.
yeah,
Like,
I think
no
that's
processing,
probably none
of that.
I don't think
stuff.
you ever signed a thing there.
I haven't.
Yeah,
Actually, no, that's not true. I signed one. What do you call it? Not
Black History Month.
Yeah, I did. I did for
Yeah.
the Black History Month thing.
See, I mean, we're nearing the anniversary of them getting in your pocket again.
Yeah, shoot, I know one thing. I'm gonna tell you this right now. You will get a cease and desist from my attorney if I am reading one goddamn Black History moment on that radio station.
I don't think you're gonna win that because that thing you signed.
Oh, they own they own the voice. That's crazy.
The one thing you signed.
That's crazy.
Would you rather hear yourself there or RJ reading Black History?
I mean, the crazy thing, I probably would never. RJ.
Yeah,
I probably wouldn't hear it. Like the only time I hear 1010 is on accident. Like the only reason I listened to it today because they're doing sportsden like with RJ and
Michael
and Mike, and I like RJ, so I wanted to support RJ.
Yeah.
So I was like, I'm gonna do what would any good person do? You can go listen. Just give a little listen.
Mm-hmm.
God,
support a sponsor.
Jesus,
man, easy. It's their first time.
No, I'm saying like
to me,
like I told him it was cool. Like it's very difficult doing radio spur of the moment, but he was prepared though. You saw those papers. That's why I like RJ, man. RJ comes to that thing stacked out, man.
I'm going to Indianapolis for the national championship game, the Georgia-Alabama national championship game. I think we're going to drive.
Yeah, you can have that.
Well, here's what's going on, man. Is like you can fly into Cincinnati or Louisville. You can fly into Indy. It's just super expensive. It's the flying back that's sketchy because there's nothing left on Tuesday to fly back on.
Ooh, hold on, my bad. Oklahoma's not even playing that game with Williams. Dylan Gabriel, UCLA transfer. He just flipped his commitment to Oklahoma. Just happened 15 minutes ago. So basically, I get Caleb Williams. You ain't going back to Oklahoma.
He's definitely going to USC then, because Dylan Gabriel's like, I ain't sitting in the same city and getting overshadowed by this joker. Ain't happening. Deuces. I'm out. I'd rather go replace him somewhere than sit here and be in his shadows in LA.
Man.
But anyway, so we're trying to like fly back. There's no flights coming back from Indy. You have to go to Cincinnati or Louisville, which is like an hour and a half away, hour and 45 minutes away. So we started going through it, and it's okay. Or we could drive down to Orlando. But let's just say you do from Jacksonville.
Mm-hmm.
What is it, 40 minutes, 30 minutes to the airport from here? So 30 minutes to the airport, 30 minutes back. You got to get there an hour and a half early on something like that. Mm-hmm. Right? So there's 3 hours. You probably got to get there 2.5 coming back home. Yeah. You check into Indy. Mm-hmm. Right. You start, and then when you get there, you got to find a rental car, which isn't easy right now. You got to wait in that rental car line. You got to do all that kind of stuff. By the time you go all the way through it, you're spending a bunch of money, and you're really only saving probably 4 or 5 hours total. So we started looking at it. It's like, okay, I can have my own car, I have to rent a car. We can drive as 12 hours, right? We can drive up there, do what we need to do. We can come back, Tuesday on our own pacing and be done with it. Now, the only way that changes is if somebody wants to open up their private flight. I'll pay you gas, not all of it, but I'll pay you some. Yeah, I'll put something on it. I'll put a stack or two.
No, yeah.
Absolutely.
Like that's the problem with private. Like, I don't know how much it costs to if somebody just said, hey, 2,000 anywhere you want to go in this time zone or something like that. Because I don't really like.
They are the same time zone.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
So I don't want to like if I know I could just drive to was it Hairlong or one of these places, and just hop out, go somewhere.
Yep. Convenience is worth
come
money.
Back. I'm like, cool, I will pay it I couldn't do it every trip. Like a special trip, just to be able
for
to
this. If I could find some way to fly up Sunday, fly back Monday after the game, or even Monday, or Monday, Tuesday, I'll put 1,500.
I'm gonna be honest with you. It's very tiring, but nothing like makes you kind of feel a little bit more like ballerish, like flying in and flying out the same.
No doubt.
Like you just like
Especially if it's private.
they're like, how long are you here for? I mean, I'm just here for the game.
Here for the game.
I'm leaving.
Yeah.
When'd you get here? I just got here this morning. Went to Starbucks, got some coffee, came over here. Go to check the game out. I may have to leave a few minutes early, if you don't mind, because we got to get through. We got to get there. Got to make sure we check in.
See, this is the bigger flex because it's like, yeah, I can stay as long as I want. They're going to wait on me.
That would be even like, yeah.
I don't have to go through baggage. I just pull right up.
That's true.
Yeah. So if anybody's got that, I'm down. I looked at like the whole shared jet thing, and there's just no good ones out of Jacksonville. Like if you lived in Austin or Atlanta or something like that.
Shot won't hook you up. Yeah.
No, I'm just trying to hop along, man. That's it. That's all I'm trying to do. Georgia have a chance in this?
Hmm?
Why are they favored?
They played the better team, and I think what the problem is that people look. Saban just all he cares about is the W. He doesn't care about how the W looks per se. Like he wants it to be excellent, but like whether it takes 70 points or 7, he's just trying to get one. He's just trying to get to the desire. So like what he did against Cincinnati, he didn't need to show anything.
They were so boring, both those games.
Yeah, but it's like, what did you want him to like? I get it. You want him to dominate him. Like he doesn't have to put anything on film. He knows my front 7 is better than theirs on both sides, and we're just gonna pick them up.
So why is Georgia favored?
Because I think people forget about that ass whooping that they gave Georgia, and people forget that Saban can spread it out
and do it twice.
and do it again. But I also think it's because Michigan is a better team than Cincinnati.
I don't know.
If you just look at it, well, just historically, and if you just look at it from those games, Georgia had a more dominating performance over what's perceived to be a better opponent. So that's part of the reason why is people are getting fooled by the now, and I'm not.
I may pick Georgia just because I may by the end of this whole week buy into it's hard to beat a really good team twice thing. But then I always go back to, it's hard for everybody else except Nick Saban. Right. The Michigan game, I mean, we talked about it. It went kind of how we thought it was going to go. I didn't think Michigan had that great of a chance going into that game. I didn't know it was going to be like that.
I mean, I've been beat by the same team twice in a year. And it's different when it's an even playing field, right? And I don't mean even like Georgia, Alabama don't have the same talent. What I mean is like Saban has the edge over all of his understudies. You just don't beat me. And what happens is you kind of get into these games and you're having success, but then maybe 2 or 3 bad things happen. And then all of a sudden you're like, oh no.
Yeah.
It's happening again. You can start feeling it. And my experience comes with the University of Miami. Every year that I played Miami, I think outside 2003 is when we played them twice. Played them in the pouring down rain. Again, Miami had control of that game from the beginning to the end. But in the Orange Bowl, when we played them again at the end of the season, we had control. But then what happens is something like some weird play call happens. All of a sudden, they just start slowly checking us down. It's like just checking us down. Then all of a sudden, we're in the fourth quarter. There's 3 minutes left, and we're in a dog fight. And they had the momentum.
Your doubts get exposed.
And you're down. Yeah, it's not that you can't beat these guys. Right. It's just that you're like, holy shit, this is happening again.
Right.
And that's kind of where you get into that. So I can see that happening to Georgia.
Yeah, I think it's gonna be a good game. I am a big proponent of the expanded playoff, but those were 2 terrible semifinal games. 2 awful semifinal games. I'm hoping that the championship game is better. I also am like, there's a part of me that's starting to say what you've been saying for a while. It really needs to happen. The SEC just needs to break off. They've already taken Oklahoma and Texas. Maybe they need to take a couple others, and they just need to have a 25-team conference. And let's forget the conferences, and here's your 25 that play for it. Because right now, man, when it comes to these things, outside of the occasional Clemson, outside of the occasional Florida State, you just don't see Ohio State, I guess, every now and then. It's only a handful of teams a couple years apart that can compete with what the SEC's ready for at the end of the year. And we saw it in a big way with Michigan. Michigan, man, they could play that game 10 times. And Michigan wouldn't come within 14 points of.
Yeah, no, Michigan. And it's exactly what I saw. Like what we all said. Like Michigan is good at what Georgia's good at defending. Like that's not fair to you. Like you got to be able to. You're gonna have to be able to spread this team out and throw it and attack them vertically. But I think we learned a lot about the SEC this bowl, and it's a lot of them. This is no disrespect. Georgia, Bama, hands down, class of the class, like of the NCAA right now. Ole Miss, Arkansas, they won. Well, no, Ole Miss didn't. But Corral was hurt. Exponentially improved. We don't know yet to be able to speak to them. LSU, the team that's been the closest to scrapping door, has 39 scholarship players right now. Florida, we don't know what they're going to look like, but they've been the closest to scraping at the door. Like, it's not that those teams aren't good, but like Georgia and Alabama are clearly head and shoulders above other people. And what I think should probably happen, I don't think expanding the playoff helps or doesn't help. I get it, like why people will want to see more, but like I think we're going to wind up with the same two teams at the end of the day.
Oh, I completely agree with that. Yeah,
but
it don't matter if you had 64 this year.
The only way that they're going to really curtail this, and I think you should still be able to keep the same conferences and make the conference championship mean something. But at the end of the year, so this kind of takes your expanded playoff thing. End of the year, not affiliated with the NCAA, affiliated with the conferences that you choose to have in this. They play for what we would consider the national. Hell, the way it goes now, AP could do it. ESPN could do it. And just call it their tournament of champions or something like that. But these schools have all come to a certain set of rules that they're willing to abide by to make it somewhat fair. A salary cap, if you will. Like, not saying that players do, but like, hey, this is how much we're going to spend on facility. Minimum, you have to spend this on facilities. We don't have to max it, but you have to put a minimum. This is how much NIL, this is the max we'll spend on NIL deals. This is the max we'll spend on this, or the minimums. Like, basically have clear-cut, like, factors to where you can compete and then go from there, because, like, until you do that, like, there's no way in hell Cincinnati can compete.
And see, I don't disagree with you that. I think what I was talking about, though, you were bringing up like this bowl game. I'm saying if you look at, let's take the past 15 years. Let's even be generous here. Okay. Take the past 15 years national championship games. If you look at the teams that have kind of come in and out of those, Clemson, Florida State, Oklahoma. Did Oklahoma make one?
Yeah.
Ohio State. But then you take Georgia and Alabama out, start stacking the SEC teams. There's more other SEC teams that have found a way to be that good for a 2 or 3 year period than outside the SEC. So what I'm saying is, if you want to make college football better, whatever the formula is in the SEC, just plug them all there. If you know what I mean? And you may still have Georgia, Alabama, but then maybe you
make the regular season better.
And you allow, the occasional what Florida did in 2008 and what Florida, maybe that becomes, I don't know, Virginia Tech. Maybe that becomes whatever. And so it's not the same 15 schools over 15 years, of which 8 are SEC teams. Does that make sense?
I got you.
Like, that's what I'm talking more about, the historical nature of it. But I don't know what the answer is, but I don't want the conference championships to mean more. I disagree with you on that, because we wouldn't have the 2 best teams playing right now.
No, what I mean is you don't worry about, like again, you are eligible to be in this as long as you meet this round robin.
No, I got you. But I'm just saying, not even in that world. I'm talking about this world now.
But like, the only reason I say that is because I want college football to mean something in the Northeast. And I got news for you. You'll never win a national championship.
Who's the closest team in the Northeast that's That's who
Maryland, and that was 2001.
I'm saying right now. If you pointed to a program, who's the best program in the Northeast? Penn State.
Penn State, my bad. Penn State would be considered Northeast. They
Yeah.
actually they have a very outside snowballs.
I mean, a couple years ago, they
chance.
probably should have been in.
Yeah,
They
they would have got dog
right.
stomp too. But even actually, you know, I say they're Northeast, and they are, but they're more west toward Pittsburgh, right?
I mean, they're still the Northeast.
Yeah, but I'm just saying, Philly is the Northeast. Pittsburgh is the Midwest, damn near, dude. It's knocking on Ohio. Like, it's just a whole different.
They act like the Midwest.
Yeah, it's just a whole different vibe over there. But that's what I think, because I think
who's the closest West Coast team to be in.
USC is USC
now,
Oregon.
but they haven't done anything.
I'm saying, like, those are the only two that can actually do it. So that's what I mean, like, to where it means something out there. Like, this championship, like, this is what it was supposed to be. Now, the national championship is different. Only one person can win that. Only so many should even have the opportunity to compete for that. But I think you should have to earn the opportunity. It's almost like how, you know, they did that at the end of the season, but like it, or which I think would be. I've saw somebody put this out, but I know this would never happen. Don't make the national championship in January. Like, have all of this stuff happen. People went out, set up these things. Let the national championship games or the playoffs be your week 0 games, which I know would never happen because those guys wouldn't be able to get to the NFL. But that's the only other thing that I can suggest.
I don't know. I don't know what's going on. Oh, by the way, we got to get to my bad. We just been talking and talking and talking. Northeast Florida Executive Health and Medspa. This is actually perfect because we're going to talk about Antonio Brown. If something don't feel right, if you feel off, get that checked out before you go ruin yourself. All right. Like let's even say you just don't feel very energetic, like you're having a hard time getting out of bed. Like, you can't perform, man. You can't perform at work. You can't perform at life. You can't live life. Get that fixed. Don't walk around sulking and just saying, I'm getting old. Well, you are, but that can be helped at Northeast Florida Executive Health and Medspa. Get over there. New year. Maybe that's when you start your goals. I don't know. Let them help you. Real doctors over there. They can get you taken care of, draw some blood, find out what's going on, or maybe just help you with recovery. Maybe that's all you need. Maybe you just need some help in the bedroom. They got you covered there too. Like, set a whole new path in 2022 in the bedroom if you want to. New identity, James. Whole new identity. A little swagger walking in the bedroom.
It's good. Northeast
Florida Executive Health and Medspa. Get over there real quick. I want to get to Antonio Brown because that was weird and bizarre and expected, right? Like, it's not. It was interesting to kind of see how social media reacted to that, because people wanted to take a side, right? Like, it was a side of, I told you this guy was an idiot, and then there was a side of, well, maybe he had a reason he was doing it, and then there was a side. We've talked about the turd to talent index for years and years and years, and you cannot escape it. As long as your talent exceeds your turdness, then you're fine in life. Once your turdness exceeds your talent, it's sketchy. When it far exceeds it, you get no more chances. And so, regardless of what was going on from a professional standpoint, not mental, professional standpoint, Antonio Brown has done enough in his history that he doesn't, from a professional standpoint, deserve another chance. He doesn't. But I thought the way Tom Brady handled it was absolutely the right way. I can say Antonio Brown is back crap crazy, but I can also say and mean that, I'm concerned about this dude. Like, I can say both of those things and both of those things be true. You don't have to have like a hard stance on this.
Yeah, I think that's the problem with America now, is that everybody feels the need to draw a line in the sand, and it has to be one way or the other. I do think he's bad crap crazy.
You thought that before.
Yeah,
before this happened, everybody thought that.
I do think that there was something that triggered it more. I also don't really care.
Right.
Like, here's what I do know, and I've said this before on our show numerous times. I don't try to understand things outside of my tax bracket, like too hard, like to where I have to have would I have turned down probably $1 million that I would have made in bonuses in that one game? No. I also don't have 20 million in the bank, allegedly.
Right.
I also don't, wasn't there for the conversation that was had, even if it was disrespectful to me. One thing I've never seen somebody do is the thing that's been done to kids in Pop Warner before. When a kid quits and they tell the coaches, say, you gotta take my pads off before you get out my gate. Yeah. Like, I've never seen that before. So, like, no matter what, like, I think that was uncalled for. I think it's funny and humorous in a way, because if you're going to quit your job, a lot of people wish they could quit their job that way. But I also say, like, I don't think that's the image you want to give off. But also, my son was playing Fortnite, so he didn't even see it. So he doesn't. He'll probably watch it on a YouTube video. But, like, at the end of the day,
he's seen it by now.
He'll probably know he's crazy.
But you know what I went back to is his release in Oakland.
With the helmets and stuff like that.
When he was jumping up and down out of his house saying, thank God I got released and all that kind of stuff. And then nobody signed him. And it's like, it's obvious something's not right with this dude. We can all agree with that.
Right. But I mean, I say it for people who don't want to be honest with themselves. You really don't care.
When I say I'm concerned, I'm not losing sleep.
No. I mean, like that. But even with that, I think you're legit with, like, I'm concerned. He has some stuff, but, like, if he gets it, then great. Most of these people don't even care that much. Yeah. Like, you want to be entertained. It is what it is. And at the end of the day, like, who cares if he gets a chance or if he doesn't? If he gets another chance, which I doubt he will, it's probably only one team that will give it to him, and it's only because one person really went out there and stuck his neck out for him again, and because he's got that much clout, and that'll be Tom Brady. But I don't see Tom Brady doing that for him in that manner.
At the Bucs again?
Yeah, that's the only place he'll have a chance. If Tom Brady wanted him back, Tom Brady. But I don't think Tom Brady needs him back.
I mean, you think about the teams that we always say that about, New England, right? Well, he's already burnt that bridge. Mm-hmm. Tom Brady, as with New England, he's kind of already burnt that bridge.
Well, the New England one too, he didn't really do anything in New England. Somebody brought up a lawsuit that we haven't heard anything else about since it got brought up, which stinks. Oakland, Pittsburgh showed his entire ass. Mm-hmm. Tampa Bay,
right?
That just, because to me, there's a lot of psychological BS that you do have to deal with on the NFL level. But at the end of the day, you can't, and this is what stings, the part about it. It doesn't matter what happens. You can't let your professionalism get thwarted because of how somebody else talks to you or how somebody else says something to you. If you wanted me to going back to the Jalen Ramsey situation, only thing I think I disagree with is, no matter what happened, dude, at a certain point, you got to be you're younger, but at a certain point, you got to be a professional. They might not have been professional, but you got to be a professional. Nobody's going to see them. Antonio Brown's in his 30s. There's no reason that this should be
with 20 strikes.
Yeah, like, I just don't.
But you know what I get about this though, and it's kind of the weird thing, because I hate when people say this, but I'm going to say it. If he would have played the rest of the game, they would have cut him the next day, we wouldn't even be talking about it.
Right.
And it's the whole all media is good media, all press is good press. That whole thing. Like, something's going to come out of this, a reality show. Something is going to come out of this.
I think the bigger thing is when we take, and this is a completely different takes, completely different sides to this. Mm-hmm. One guy I actually really, really do like, and if something crazy, I would be sad. The other guy right now, I really just don't care with AB. But but a lot of people had really, really strong stances on what Marshawn was doing and what he wasn't doing.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, Marshawn is the one who looks like a freaking genius. Completely different, but people.
Because Marshawn was a good teammate.
He was a good teammate.
Is that what you're saying? It's different?
He was good. No, I'm saying it's different too, because it was one of those situations where people just refused to understand why he didn't want to talk to the media.
Yeah.
And he's literally like, I don't want to do this. Okay, you're going to force me to do this. Well, I'm okay. What do I have to do? Like, he literally did everything they asked him to do. He just refused.
But he was a good teammate, though, right?
He was great. Everybody loved him.
Yeah, I think
like everybody literally like what happened with Marshawn is the more they tried to paint him as a villain in the media, the more the teammate, like they're like, nah, when we want to go out on dates with our wives, Marshawn is the one that watches our kids. Marshawn's like, when people find out Marshawn's over here giving me investment strategies, they're like, what?
Well, that's what I was going to say. Like when you go and you watch Marshawn's, what was it, like a Facebook reality show or something like that, right? It wasn't a network. I want to say anyway.
Yeah. No,
he had some.
Right,
when you watch that,
you start to see.
You see why he was the way he was, and it's entertaining and it's endearing. It's like I want to hang out with that dude. There is zero part of me that wants to hang out with Antonio.
I'm gonna be
Brown.
honest with you. It has nothing to do with the media per se. It's with him throwing candy penises at people. I don't want to hang out with people who throw candy penises
or fart on a doctor.
Yeah,
over and over and over again.
Yeah, that was very immature.
Yeah,
but like even just like Chad Johnson, like how we know and discuss Chad Johnson now is completely different toward the end of it. All people saw was the celebrations and this, that, and the other, the gold teeth, and it was. We've seen the media truly paint people in a bad light that weren't really that bad. Like actually, the person who even got the got some friendly fire from this was T.O. They're like a bigger diva, T.O. or A.B. And T.O.'s like, yo, I ain't never put my hands on nobody. I ain't never been arrested. I ain't never been in trouble. Most of my teammates like me except for one or two people.
If you go back to like Joe Namath, I bet you, obviously, because there wasn't social media, there wasn't 24-hour news, there wasn't ESPN. But a lot of people were turned off by that.
With
by the way he dressed, and the guarantees,
the nylons.
And it's like, I would imagine we probably could go through a bunch of these guys. And now it's just kind of accepted. And I think that's kind of what happened with Marshawn. But there's no way that happens with AB. No. I think that happened with Chad Johnson.
AB is, again, he actually has, I'm going to give him the benefit of the doubt with the case in New England because I haven't heard anything else about it. I've also been on the wrong and right side of arguments with your significant other when it comes to kids kind of things. But I will say this, I'm never going to record myself cursing out my kid's mother or, fine, boot them because it's your property. And if you asked her to leave, like she needs to leave, but like you're causing the attention and the drama to yourself. And I think one thing that I've learned, it took me a minute. That lifestyle is easier to attract drama with what you want, but like drama's a choice.
Yeah.
Like you don't have to have all of this drama. So like that's why I was joking. People say I need to cleanse from social media. It's too much drama. Like, no, that's your drama. Like you could literally mute whatever you don't want to have a conversation.
Well, I do hope whatever it is works out. I do hope like I said, I'm not going to lose sleep over it. But if there's something going on, I do hope that before we hear about him,
like we heard
dead
about
in a hotel,
like the wide receiver for the Buccaneers about a year ago,
right? Yeah, before I don't want to hear that. I hope something works out, but at the same time, I hope he gets help. But I also hope that his chances in the NFL are done because the
NFL is the NFL. Like this is the thing that we've always said this about players. And it's true. This is why I feel the way I feel about coaches and other people as well. It is a legit gift. It is a legit opportunity like to play in the NFL. You don't have to play in the NFL. Right. So like
and they don't have to let you.
They don't have to let you. It's like so, but that's also molded my thoughts on a lot of different things. Like when I look at like when people say, about the cancel culture stuff and things like that. I'm like, it's a gift with some of these places. Yeah, I may not be able to pick up a football and make as much money as I ever did here, but they don't have to let me in. Like AB has earned the right to not be in anymore.
Right.
Like he has but with that being said, I doubt this happens though. There's only one team that this probably could happen because every time I think they can't disappoint me anymore, they figure out a new way to do it. That's if Jacksonville brought him.
And
But an owner would have to figure out, like you said, the talent. And I think he's getting older.
It's just not even close.
That's the beauty about now, even though, God, he had this gents right before he took his pads off. Oh my goodness. I had to ask my friend who's a DB. I'm like, dude, has this ever happened to you that looks so helpless? Like my man was turned like this.
Yeah, I saw it.
Did not know where AB was, and AB just had him at his mercy.
I mean, he does it from time to time, and that's the thing. I think that's the thing with him that's still sad because he could still be a 1,000-yard receiver if everything else was in line.
Do you still give any credence to the perfect hit when it comes to him?
Man, I've seen that. Like, I mean, I'm sure it wasn't healthy, but no.
Man,
I mean, leaving football might be the best thing for him.
I don't know, bro.
I don't think so.
I don't know.
I go back to Murder Ray's comment. Do you know how much evil you call crime is bound to happen if they don't give us this game? Nah, I think
the structure. You take that structure away.
The idle mind is the devil. Yeah, idle mind is the devil's workshop.
Yeah,
this man he's childish. He's a multimillionaire, and nothing but time on his hands. Like at worst, we'll get a ton of really, really bad rap music.
I didn't listen to it.
Excuse me. At best, my bad. Let me rephrase that. At best, we'll get a bunch of really, really bad rap music. At worst, who knows what will happen to him.
Someone in the chat did the math real quick. He said light jet burns 175 gallon an hour, 439 gallon flight time, jacks to Indy 2 hours. If you want to pay gas for the trip, it's 1,537 one way.
Really? Oh, one way?
One way.
Well, no, I'm not going to be the only person on the plane.
So
though.
you would split it.
Yeah.
That's what I don't even know if it's
so.
True,
If we go, if I can find two other couples that's going. If I can find like 2 other couples that's going, I mean, like I said, I'll put 1,500.
3,000, 6 people. That's better than first class. That's first class.
Yeah, I mean, that's what I'm saying. Like, I let's do it. If you have access to a jet, I don't want some little prop plane. I ain't putting that ain't happening. No, I want a jet now. Like I want to get there in a reasonable amount of time. Yeah. Then I'll put in on it real quick. Let's get to GreenAcres. GreenAcresporting.com is where you need to go for all your hunting and fishing needs. Huge holiday season there.
Right, big time. Thanks for everybody who went and bought stuff, guys. If you're looking for discounts. That's all I can tell you right here, bro. This is hooking. I'm hooking you up. Well, I'm not. They are. It's their annual tent sale.
Oh, okay.
Basically,
we're selling guns out of tents.
Guns out of tents.
That's America,
right? The whole
Carnival style.
Whole store is on sale, but like the deals. I'm put like this. Z said the deals are too good to advertise. You just got to show your ass up. January 17th. 7 days from that. I know January 17th is when it starts.
That'd be the 17th to the 24th. Is that what you're saying?
Let me make sure I've said it right. That's a great read. Oh, my bad. It's 17th through the 22nd.
Okay, but 5 days.
The tent sale is going to be from January 17th through January 22nd. It's going to be a massive store-wide sale, deals too low to advertise. Basically, it's like Christmas and Black Friday, but better.
In January.
What is
that? Is that MLK weekend?
Yeah, sounds like MLK was around the 15th. So yeah, that's MLK Monday.
There you go, Z.
So you guys are already off on the 17th.
Right.
Yeah. Let's go get it. Let's make it happen.
Yeah. Get to Normandy Boulevard. GreenAcresporting.com. You have any hate o'clocks?
Nah,
or anything that we've missed?
I'm just happy, man. I'm happy.
What are you happy about?
I got renewed. My credentials got renewed to go cover the Super Bowl again in LA. Have no idea how I'm getting there, but that's far. And I'm afraid. I got to talk to my Cali people. White people don't deal with this kind of stuff.
What are you afraid of?
I don't like restrictions. I like red, but I also like blue.
Okay. Oh.
I like yellow.
I think they suspend that for the Super Bowl.
Okay, all right. Because I just what I can't be doing.
I don't know.
I don't know. But
I shouldn't say that because I
don't want to go
comeback shot
walking around and they be like, "Man, why you wearing that? Cuz what's up with this blood? Or I just want to
Can't
order.
just you
I
can't.
want to order chocolate chip cookies. I don't want to have to take the seeds out. It's too much work.
But you can't. For how long are you gonna be there?
Depends on what my credential is. I don't know if it's a game pass, I'll stay for the game. If it's not, I'll be coming back on that.
Okay, so you're gonna be like 4 or 5 days.
Yeah, 4 or 5 days.
You're telling me you can't go 4 or 5 days without wearing red or blue?
No, that's not. But like I can. But like, dude, like I don't know what if there's a gang? Like they just got gangs all over the place. What if that gang wears yellow?
What color mask you?
You gotta wear a mask out in Cali. Oh shuck it! I gotta make sure. I gotta go get the poke, don't I? You gotta go.
Oh yeah,
the
you
card.
haven't had that.
You gotta have the card.
I'm sure you do for the Super Bowl.
Yeah. Well, no, I'm like I need to go get it. So like,
yeah,
I'll go ahead and handle that this week.
Are you gonna have time?
I could get 30 days in between if I get it done right now.
No, you get the first one.
Yeah,
then you gotta wait
30 days,
2 weeks.
Yeah, then
you get the second one, and then it's 2 weeks after that is when it's technically valid.
Oh,
so you probably need to go do it tomorrow.
Yeah, I need to go get it done. If I get it done this week, I got a chance.
Yeah, well, that'll be fun though, because everybody said that stadium is awesome. SoFi, you're gonna go see Jalen?
If I'm out there, if they're playing.
Yeah, that'll be fun. Are we doing the I'm going to the combine. Are we going to do something with the combine? Do you want to go?
Sure. Yeah.
I have to go. So Brock Purdy started with us today.
It's not. You said it's not an Indy this year.
I think it's an Indy this year.
Okay.
But then I think after that it starts to.
Yeah, I'm definitely going.
Rotate. You know me. If it's Indy, I'm there.
Yeah, of course.
It is going to be like 14
I want to do the
degrees.
draft too. Where's the draft?
I don't know. Where's the draft this year? Let's see.
I feel like I was robbed. I should have went the year before they had us all locked out. When they were talking about putting people on boats
in Vegas.
I should have went on ahead and went.
That was one of the top 5 most ridiculous.
Whose mom was that? Her son's not any good either. Was it the Ohio State DB?
I don't remember who it was. That was great. Wow. Holy cow. I just got a text. I'll show you off here.
Oh, okay.
Wow. Let's see. NFL draft location for 2022. Let's see.
Cleveland?
Yeah. Wait. Wasn't Cleveland last year?
I thought Cleveland was last year. New Orleans?
Vegas.
Again?
Yes.
Oh, sweet. Yeah, I got the timeshare.
Yes, it's Vegas.
Timeshare right off the script.
Oh my gosh.
So I'll be going out to the West Coast twice. I will be going to see Nipsey Hussle's mural or whatever they
got. Yeah, so yeah, we'll have to do that too. I got to deal with something real quick. Sorry. We got anything else?
No, that's it. I'm good.
We're good. So when are we doing this again?
Wednesday. Can we do it early?
I don't know, because now I got this like pro day prep stuff. I have to see what our schedule is Wednesday, because I'm not on my own schedule anymore. Now we got like 6 people working this thing, so I have to kind of fall into line here.
Well, just look at your schedule and let's figure out when we're going to do that. We only need an hour.
We say that.
I mean, we can cut it. We don't have to talk.
All right, we're out of here. We'll talk to you guys on Wednesday at some point. Have a good night.